I remember I faced with cultural differences was in America when my coworker said to me, "Hi, how are you?" And when I just prepared to answer her and to tell a few words about how my day is going, she just turned away and went on her business. At first, I thought that she's just being rude, and but then I learned that it's just a cultural thing. She didn't want to be rude. It's just a cultural thing, and in work, I often the phrase "Hi, how are you?" is often treated not as an answer, or not as a question, but as an it's just addition to hi. It's just like greeting. Yes, that was sort of an introduction, and let's get to the point of our training. It's marketing to different cultures and different cultures in business. The first dimension is context. It's a communication style, and it can be divided on high context and low context. As to high context countries, the low context countries in high context countries, it is common to have leave many things unsaid, and a few words can communicate a complex message. A few words can communicate a complex message, and people from these countries tend to place more importance to relationships, to relationships in business, while low context countries are more tend to have more a short time business relationships, and so lower context countries are mainly countries from it's the United States, it's Europe, and English, Dutch, Australian, and they rely on explicit communication. Yes, and this is especially important to remember for salespeople, because if they speak with French person, let's say with a French person, if you get very deep into the details and you will tell all the things, they may feel like you question that. They may feel like you're questioning their intelligence. And yes, and what does it mean from marketing perspective? That high context countries tend to respond more to interactive things like various images, sounds, graphics, and you need to remember that the fewer words for these countries are better than many. And it's also very important to utilize such non-verbal cues like tone, voice tone, like facial expressions and gestures and posture. Yes, the next dimension is directness. In Scandinavia, Sweden, America, communication style is often very direct, to the point, and the primary purpose of communication is to exchange information, while in India or other Asian countries, Eastern cultures, it's more important to build relationships. Yes, and also for example, in Britain, Asia, Ireland, they if they disagree, they usually don't tell they don't tell no directly. They tend to say, like, we will see, it may be difficult, but we will try, or let me get back to you. Yes. And so saying no or showing their disagreement is can be seen as impolite. Yes. And David Barry, an American author, tells a story about how he visited Japan, and he says that when he had such a conversation with airport clerk, he wanted to take a flight from one city to another, and he said, clerk said him that maybe perhaps you would prefer another. Perhaps you would prefer to go by train. And then he said, no, I want to fly. And he answered, maybe there are a lot of other ways to go. And he said, but I would prefer to fly to that city. And he says, it will be very difficult, and in the end, he found out that there are just no flights from that city to another. That's about directness. Next dimension is perception of time. Yes. In some cultures, time is seen as a limited resource, and which is constantly being used up, and it's like having a bathtub full of water which can never be replaced, and it's going down the drain, and it's going down the drain, and you have to use it, or you just waste it. But there are other societies like India, Latin America, Spain, they and all agricultural countries, they see time as circular and constantly renewing. Yes, and countries like America, Germany, punctuality is very important, and it's seen as a sign of reliability. While in India, for example, or Latin America, there is no problem with making people wait all day. Yes. Also, in time-limited countries, business like in America or Germany, business executives tend to make up their minds very quickly, and they are more decisive, make decisions faster, while Indian people tend to think they don't usually do fast decisions fast and easily, and you have to be prepared to many rounds of back and forth. Yes. Next thing is hierarchy and formality. There are some differences in formality of meetings and respect of hierarchy. For example, Sweden. In Sweden, in America, there is a flat hierarchy, and people in those countries speak with each other like equals, and yes, and for example, especially Swedish people, they rely on open democratic dialogue. Yes, and also they don't see their titles as something to brag about. Yes, and while in countries like Britain, in countries like England or Britain countries, it's critical to follow the established protocol and follow rules, and relationship should be very professional and formal. And also Asian approach to business is also very formal and hierarchical. Yes, so there is a need to keep all this in mind when you're communicating with such people. Yes. Next is forms of address. As I said, there are some countries like India and Asian countries, and they may be offended if you call them by names, but countries like USA, Canada, Sweden, it is very common to address people by their names, but don't do that with Indian people or in Japan. And yes, they usually place great importance to respect and to titles. Yes, so it's important to just ask people from such cultures, how do you want me to call me? Yes. Yes, there's a very interesting thing, promotional and conventional messages in marketing. There was an experiment where there was Asian people and American people, And they were shown an advertisement there was an advertisement of a juice, and in one advertisement they said that grape juice is great because it's very it can lead to higher energy levels. It can it's great tasting and energizing. So it was a promotional message. And another advertisement was about this grape juice, and they said that grape juice helps to avoid cancers or some diseases, heart diseases, and those people, there were Asians and Americans, they asked what advertisement was more appealing and more appealing. And American people said that they like more that advertisement where was a promotional message, yes, and Asian people trusted more to advertisement where they said about preventive, what that this juice prevents from. So Americans, they value more achievements, success, and accomplishments. So it is better to appeal to their to the benefits, to the positive aspects of the product. While with Eastern societies, it is important to say about how what this product may help to avoid. Yes. And other interesting facts about different cultures is in the United States and Germany, it is common for people to speak loudly and more assertive and aggressive when sharing ideas. Also, Sweden people are good listeners, and they expect you to be one too. Yes. And Sweden people also establish relationships on informal level, but they private and business lives are very segregated, and yes, so informality does not goes to intimacy. And yes, and in France, an effort to speak French is appreciated. Yes. And also, psychologist Janish, I don't know, didn't know him, but he revealed that those who live in warmer climates tend to be more tend to prefer bright colors, and yes.
And what do you mean by warmer climates?
Warm climates.
Climates.
Yeah, climates. It's not about it's not about cultures, but I think it's this fact is interesting. Yes, and yes. Oh no, it's not the end. I also wanted to sorry, wanted to show the теж перейду на українську. Так, там було таке питання з аналітикою, як перегруповувати канали. І, здається, я це знайшла. Так. Зараз секундочку. Тут в вкладці адміністратор.
Тобі потрібно хромкаст перегрузити.
Прошу?
Перегрузити хромкаст, включити виключити.
Ну, я, по-моєму, через шнур,
Я
по-моєму,
там
через...
через Почему? Точно.
Через шлюб. Вкладці адміністратор є таке є налаштування каналу. Так, що вибрати налаштування каналів. Ось, якщо зайшли в налаштування каналів, можна змінити, підкоригувати правила групування, тобто, наприклад, Direct. Тут залишаємо це визначення системою канал і просто додаємо ще одне правило. Тут же можна вибрати собі те, що вам потрібно, наприклад, вибирали джерело, тут містить або не містить. Так. І тут вводите те, що те, що вам потрібно. Я думаю, не зрозуміло.
У мене зразу є прохання. У нас є інструкція, по-моєму, по SEO, там щось дуже по роботі з аналітикою. Я тебе просто дуже прошу, щоб ти додала оце скріншотами туди.
Дякую. Думаю, це все. Можливо, у вас є якісь запитання? Задавайте. Добре, дякую.
Молодець.